What is up, YouTube? So, second video here, trying something a little different with the audio. I did an experiment this morning with my truck, and the audio was crystal clear in terms of my voice, but I still got a ton of wind noise. Well, not a ton of wind noise. It was much quieter since my truck is new and sealed very well, but it was still picking up a ton of background noise. So I'm trying this thing directly in front of my mouth, and we'll see what the quality turns out to be. So I'm going to talk a little quieter. Obviously I don't want to sound like I'm screaming either. So, what is up, YouTubers? Bearded Cruiser coming at you. And today I want to talk about, on my lovely drive here, something that grinds my gears. Motorcycle gear / PPE. It's if you belong to any groups, forums, whatever, I've got a couple Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and they're owners groups. And one topic of discussion that once in a while comes up, especially once somebody bounces their head off the pavement and posts pictures of it, is motorcycle gear, or PPE. Usually you'll get a picture of somebody that was either wearing a half shell or no gear at all, and they're maimed, pretty good and screwed up. And you get the safety guys who are, that's why you wear gear, dude. Look, I bounced my head off the pavement, here's my helmet, here's my face afterwards. So there's two sides to the argument. Obviously there's some people that believe that you should wear, they call it ATG, ATT, which is all the gear all the time. That being protective armor, helmet, jacket with armor, gloves, leg protection, and in some cases even like Kevlar pants, something along those lines. Then you have the other side of the argument, which is the America freedom crowd that's give me my freedom or give me death, who are like, you shouldn't be able to choose for me, states shouldn't be able to regulate what I wear, yada yada. So I'm going to tell you where I fall before all the hate starts on this video. I'm somewhere in between. So my personal choice, I would say most of my gear. A lot of times I'll wear business pants, which is not a good idea because obviously they don't provide adequate protection. Neither do jeans, but they're slightly better. But I wear gloves, I wear a helmet, I wear a jacket that has armor, or a leather jacket that doesn't have armor but still provides pretty adequate protection. My opinion on the situation is this. While I believe people should be able to wear whatever they want, I think there are some requirements that go with it. So I completely understand the give me my liberties camp and no more government regulation. I agree with you to an extent. I don't think the government, states, and usually this is state specific, so we'll say state government should not be able to regulate what safety devices you wear beyond a seatbelt in a car, with the exception that you are required to have adequate protection for yourself financially, medically, and then restrictions should be lifted on what you wear. And what I mean by this, and a lot of people don't understand this argument to that extent, they only think about, you're making me wear a helmet, you're a dickhead. I'm looking at it from the perspective that I pay a very large sum of taxes every year, and every year it irritates the fuck out of me. I see people that have made $30,000, have 4 kids, and end up getting and paid no taxes after deductions, and end up getting a refund larger than the taxes that they actually put in. Essentially, that's welfare. You're getting back money from someone else, i.e. me, and the rest of us who pay in way more than what I think we should have to pay in. So you add to that in terms of medical insurance premiums when you're a dipshit who rides with no gear, has no medical insurance, has no motorcycle insurance to cover medical, and you bounce your head off the pavement. So now Jimmy, who's got 6 kids under 6 and is the only working income in his household because his wife's a stay-at-home mom, Jimmy can't go to work. Jimmy's laid up in the hospital for 3 months. So there's a GoFundMe page. And along with the GoFundMe page, for Jimmy, who decided not to take any personal responsibility, is medical bills that he will never be able to pay, that will either be written off through bankruptcy, in which the hospital will eat, translation, I will eat, and increase premiums, or some other way medical bills will be paid for Jimmy because he couldn't afford to pay them. So if you have motorcycle insurance, if you have medical insurance, I am all for you having that personal choice to not wear a helmet. If you don't, fuck you. I think the government should be able to regulate you wearing a helmet so that I don't have to pay for your stupidity. As a personal opinion, whether you have insurance or not, I don't understand why people choose not to wear gear. I get the freedom thing, live free or die, but especially if you have family, and by that I mean small children, or at least children under the age of 18, whom you are financially responsible for. It is an extremely selfish act for you to come out here and ride a motorcycle with no gear on. Now, we already take a risk. Some would argue that I'm irresponsible for even riding a motorcycle with a family, and I agree to an extent. But given that we choose those risks, why would you not do everything you can to protect yourself and protect your family in the event that something catastrophic happens? And by that, I don't just mean medical insurance. That's part of it, right? That'll take care of the medical bills, with the exception of a high deductible, which pretty much we all have now. But I'm talking about life insurance. I'm talking about enough money put aside so that your family can pay off everything you owe and live comfortably for a couple of years while they figure out how the hell to move on without you, should the worst case scenario come true. I'm talking about motorcycle insurance that covers medical that will eat up your deductible where your health insurance fails. So ultimately, this should cost you nothing out of pocket. So that's my take on it. I believe you should have the freedom to not wear a helmet. In my situation, where I have life insurance, where I have medical insurance, where I have motorcycle insurance, nobody should be able to tell me what to wear. It's a personal decision, and my personal decision isn't going to cost anyone else their liberties except me. And my family will pay that cost. And my family will have that burden of raising my children without me, not you. You won't be picking up the tab for my medical bills, my funeral, etc. So I'm all about the liberty thing, man. As long as your liberty doesn't cost me liberty. And if you're one of the liberty guys, you need to look at the argument from that side. Your choice, I agree, they should be your choices. But should you have those choices if they lead to costing me my liberties? So let's not just think about your own liberty, let's think about everybody else's liberty. If your liberty costs me liberty, you're defeating your own crowd and your own message and what you stand for. Now, if your liberty only infringes on you if it's a bad decision, I support you 100%. No gear, great. Squid it out, bro. As long as I'm not paying for it. So, a lot of this may come off as harsh to some people, and I'm okay with that. I'm sure there'll be some hate flung either way at me for what I'm saying, but I ask that, can we debate this? Can we debate this openly without, name calling and getting into you're a dipshit type of conversation? Because I'm interested in hearing all sides of it. But that's where I stand. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't think people should be regulated to wear 100% PPE. regardless of their situation. I think that's a government overreach, which we already have enough of. At the same time, I don't think you should be able to cost me income because you made a bad decision. That loss should be on you, buddy. So I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are. I just wanted to get that off my chest as something that really grinds my gears. Take it easy.